Alright guys, Balaam here, back with more Persona 5. This will probably be it for tonight. Yeah, we're gonna continue on. Still watching election coverage. Shall see what happens here.
Well, how do I put this?
Hey!
It's kind of dumb, isn't it?
Yeah. Remember how I hijacked your phone during the school trip? That kind of came in handy. Well, remember how I put that wiretap app in Akechi's phone? Basically, that let me see GPS info for two phones, yours and his. I'd be able to tell the precise moment Sai Nijima, who had your phone, ran into Akechi. That's when I saw my chance, and beep, sent the signal to activate the Metaverse Navigator. But there was a chance they'd just pass each other without saying a single word. That's why we needed you to tell Sai Nijima to show the phone to Akechi. This plan still surprises me no matter how many times I hear it. Still, I couldn't just directly hack into the Metaverse now. It's a mysterious app after all.
Nothing crazy happens in North Carolina because when you're looking from Georgia and North
You
Carolina,
know how it has that bookmark function? All you have to do is push the button.
which is just about 2 points or so.
Making the phone think he was pushing that button was totally doable.
For Joe Biden. We are going to all, it looks like, get whatever sleep we can in the next few hours. Who the winner of this election is. And as you were pointing out with Jonathan Turley and Andy McCarthy,
Sorry.
this thing could go on for days, Brett and Martha, before we know actually who won. And as this begins to tighten up, I think that's what the potential for legal challenges increases exponentially, particularly in the state of Pennsylvania, which has got until Friday to count votes, and North Carolina we've got another 9 days to count votes as well. So
I'm gonna head
this
back
happened
then.
to us in 2000, and I remember
Wait, can I do share or
standing there in an
no?
outdoor amphitheater in the rain in Nashville,
I guess we can't.
waiting for Al Gore
Alright.
to
I'm gonna
come
head
and
back there.
concede. We were told that he was going to concede the election to George Bush.
Guess
and
he
we
won't
were
be going
left
to school
standing
for
in
a
the rain
while.
because Al Gore never showed up to concede.
Don't worry about it.
And it wasn't
This'll be a
until
breeze
37
compared to what
long,
we've had to face so
torturous
far.
days later that,
And we'll
we
have all the
finally
time to
learned
come
that
up
there
with the
would be a
plans
winner
together.
of that election.
To be perfectly honest, I don't really care what happens to Shido, one way or the other. But when I consider the fact that he's your enemy, I naturally think he's my
John,
enemy
what's
as
the
well.
over-under that Fox News comes out in
I'm
this,
going to stay with you until the very end.
in this event?
Well
What do you
then,
mean? Oh,
we should
what
get
the
to see.
president says, talks about Arizona? Yeah. You
You
know,
know,
I
something
think
that
the likelihood
Futaba
is
said
probably
before,
pretty high.
when
But
you were in a pinch in the
I've been
past,
proven wrong before.
picked up a
You never
reading
know
of
where the
someone who came
president
to
is
your
going to
rescue.
go, but if he's got a grievance,
Was that-
it's a pretty good chance you're going to hear it. And obviously, Arnie Michigan and the decision does stand by that call and when they made it.
So it
And you
was
can see when you
Yoshizawa.
look at the
Then you better
calculus
let her know
now
you're safe
why
now.
they were so instantly
And
concerned
I'll
about
even lend you a
Arizona
hand with that.
because they probably had some concerns about Georgia at that same time, and they need to balance that out in order to get to 270. And you can see the camera on the door. This in the East Room as the president is expected to come out any moment now. I mean, unlike what we saw in 2000, you've got several states that are up in the air tonight and nowhere near any kind of conclusion as we head towards the 2:03 time tonight, Brett.
John, this is in the East Room. They have it set up there. Yeah, there's about 400 people who were there. I was invited in to be part of what's called an expanded pool, but I've got to be out here on the North Lawn speaking to
There's
you.
no
We were
point
not
in even
able to
having
do
an
any
election.
unilateral
Shido's gonna win.
broadcasting from
Of
inside
course,
that room,
he's the only
which is why
reliable
I stayed
politician
out.
there is. Plus, the
To
current
stay with
government
you.
has been getting wrapped up in
But,
scandal after
Explain
scandal.
why they're there, because
Even more
there was a battle
importantly,
about
there's
whether
just
we
an
had a
aura
Trump
about
hotel.
him. Like he can fix whatever
Initially,
problems we
thought
have.
that, the plan
Honestly,
was, to
it
have,
doesn't
a
really
group of
matter to
people,
me
a group
who
of people
does
at
it.
the Trump
I just
International
want to see
Hotel,
our
but
society
Mayor
back
Muriel
on
Bowser
track.
of Washington,
Especially
D.C.
after it turned out
putting a
those
lot of
phantom
pressure
thieves were
on the
nothing
Trump
more than
Hotel
scum
to
in the
not
end.
hold an event that
I'll
more than
show
50
you.
people are gathered at, because Washington, D.C. is still in phase 2 coronavirus reopening, which means that crowds have to be limited to 50 in terms of of size, but here at the White House, you're able to do different things. It's federal property. It's not administered by, at least it doesn't fall into the jurisdiction of Washington, D.C. So the president was able to have...
I forgot we get like calls from all the confidants or something,
They
right?
thought about having it somewhere else, but the president has done a number of campaign events at the White House. There's also a campaign war room that was established at the Eisenhower Executive Office Building, which is the big building that's just across West Executive Drive from the White House. No taxpayer money, we're told, was spent on putting the campaign in that war room. The campaign took care of all of it. But here you have, the situation here in 2020 where we have to live by, to the best of our ability, these COVID restrictions. A lot of people would say that the president flaunted, if not violated, those rules with the airport gatherings that he had across the country with campaign rallies. But the decision was made to bring it here to the White House so as not to run afoul, at least the Trump International Hotel, the COVID restrictions imposed by Washington, D.C.
So, John, Joe Biden came out at 12:31 this evening, a little over an hour and a half ago now, and the president was going to come out about 5 minutes ago. I mean, you have to wonder if there's ongoing discussion or what took them this long to do this at 2:05 in the morning in terms of how they're going to present their case here.
Yeah, well, I think the president might have been waiting to see if Georgia was going to be declared, and when it became clear that that wasn't going to happen because of the suspension of counting there in Fulton County, or at least a reduction in counting in Fulton County, that they probably got an argument together. And I think they're probably going to see the president lay down something of a gauntlet here in terms of the potential for, as he has been saying on the campaign trail.
Let's head to the Diet building. Make sure you aren't discovered, okay?
Going to lose is if the election is stolen, and maybe sort of lay the groundwork here for myriad legal challenges to the outstanding vote or these extended deadlines.
You going out?
That we see in many states across the nation. There was a thought earlier tonight that if the president looked like he had a sizable lead in places like Pennsylvania and North Carolina, that there wouldn't be any reason.
You realize you're
for a
done
legal
for if you
challenge,
get
but if
caught,
that
right?
vote begins to tighten, and we expect that it will tighten in Pennsylvania as well, as more results come in from the heavily Democratic areas around Philadelphia and Pittsburgh.
The stunts you pull sometimes.
The likelihood or the probability of a legal
Just don't stay out
challenge
too late.
grows with every vote for Joe Biden that comes in, and every percentage point by which the vote difference begins to tighten. So I think the president may begin to lay the case
she isn't
there
here.
that,
Let's begin
he
at
has
once.
to go into court and start to
Police
challenge
cars are
these
making
votes for
rounds, so we
fear
can't stay here
the
too
president
long.
will likely
We
say that
already
the
have
election
Messiah
is stolen
Shishido
from
and
the vote.
Diet Building. All we
All
need
right,
is
John,
what he
stand
thinks of
by.
this
Chris
place.
Wallace, what do you think?
Maybe
President's going to
Mount
do?
Fuji, since it's the highest place in the country?
Yeah, I think that both of them are setting
What
the
about a
table for
mansion?
the possibility of
Since he's going to subjugate everyone as prime minister, perhaps a school?
What about an arena, like the Colosseum?
Imperial Palace? It's no good. I thought we would have gained entry by now. Maybe we shouldn't have called you here.
Hey, you think he's guarding his whole palace with a barrier? Shido stole the cognitive science research, right? Well, maybe it had some special move written in it.
Is that even possible? Who knows? I've got no idea. There was nothing like that in the notes I saw.
Anyways, what kind of person is Shido? I can't figure him out.
I did some light research on him last night, but I couldn't get a grasp on the type of man he is.
At various points, George W. Bush is winner.
That man over there is probably a legislator, right? I'll try asking him.
Actually conceded and then had to rescind his
Excuse me. I'm a member of the newspaper club at my high school. May I speak with you for a moment?
Sure.
What kind of person is Representative Shido? What's he think about the national diet?
His stance is dedication for country. It's how he's garnered everyone's trust. He's an admirable man of action with a first-class determination. I'd say he's a model politician. I believe that he'll help create a wonderful future in which young adults like you can live in ease.
Democratic counties, Pittsburgh, but also around that Philadelphia area.
An
That's
exemplary
one level
answer.
of division.
But I
It
think you
makes
also
sense
have
he
to
wouldn't tell
keep in mind,
teenagers
in a
anything
place like
unnecessary.
Georgia, you're looking at votes around the Atlanta area, heavily minority votes. In Pennsylvania,
Look over there.
you're looking at votes
He's on a walkie-talkie.
concentrated in the Philadelphia and Pittsburgh area. Again, specifically in Philadelphia,
Wait,
heavily
is it about
minority
us?
votes. And the suggestion that there
Good.
might be some hanky-panky
We
or
should
fraud
leave
or
at
whatever
once.
is
Tomorrow's
again
the day off.
going to
So
raise
let's have
the
an early
level
strategy
of
meeting.
division, I
Meet
think,
at LeBlanc,
in the
okay?
country. I think it just tears our social
We should all
fabric.
think about this
And I do have,
tonight.
let me hold on one second. We have under 2 minutes now before the president, but we do have a call to make. The decision desk is now calling the Montana Senate race for the
criminals
incumbent
calling
Steve
themselves
Daines,
the
Republican
Phantom
against
Thieves
former
are no more.
Governor Steve Bullock, who
However,
was a presidential candidate
I
at one
believe
time.
that this
ran
country's
for
citizens
Senate.
are
This was
still living
supposed
their
to be a
days in
Democratic
anxiety.
pickup. This is a big
These
poll
scandals
for
only
Republicans,
increase
and you
our
see
distrust
the
of the current
46,
government.
47, it's only
As a
Democrats
citizen
plus
myself,
one.
I am
Remember, they have
enraged.
Net plus 4 to take
Look
over
who's
control.
talking.
What does it mean to be a politician with responsibility? Working toward personal gain without consideration of the country is outrageous.
Be able to say that Republicans
The
are going
election's
to hold
public
on
notification
control in
is
the U.S.
I was just going to say, if
No
you
matter
want
where
a
I
pretty good
go,
idea what the
people
president's
are
going to say,
cheering
I
for
just got a
Sheila.
fundraising
Everyone's
appeal
being deceived
from
so
the
easily.
Trump-Pence campaign breaking. Democrats plan to steal the election. We're emailing you now to ask for you to step up one last time and defend the president. The Democrats will steal the election. We can't let them get away with it. So
In order to save
we are
this
in
country that has
full-scale
been tainted by
2000
villains,
litigation,
social
and they're
reform is
raising money
essential.
to begin a legal effort to stop vote counting in various places and to say that the Democrats are stealing the election.
But I should point out, finishing my Senate thought, that Tom Tillis has already declared victory in North Carolina. We had not called that
I should
race,
write something.
but he has declared victory down there. It's lining up that Mitch McConnell, after his victory tonight, will continue to be Senate Majority Leader and not minority.
And it's worth
Let's not
pointing out
forget
the
here that
concerns.
what 2000 proved was that we have institutions and procedures for settling these kinds of disputes. They held up then, took a long time, a lot of different courts at many levels, ended up in the Supreme Court, but it was handled. We're designed, we have
what should I do?
checks and balances and processes. They worked then, my guess is they'll work now. They'll work now, and in the end, people by and large will accept it. At least they won't refuse to accept it on any worse than they've refused to accept Donald Trump's clear victory 4 years ago.
Leave.
I might also
No,
add
it's
about
the
2000,
real
by the
laugh,
way,
right?
that the slogan of the Democrats was, we want to count every vote. They didn't really want to count every vote. They wanted to count votes and keep counting votes in parts of Florida where they believed they would pick up votes. They didn't want to count anywhere else. David Boies, who was the lawyer for the Trump team, acknowledged that in his book.
The Bush
So, I'm sorry, did I say
the Trump team. It's the Bush team. You mean the
No,
2000?
it was the Gore team. The Gore team, yeah. David Boies was the Gore team.
Sorry.
And he said in his book that they didn't want to go counting more, try to count in the counties where they didn't think they were going to pick up
Well,
more.
that's what's going to happen here too. Though.
Yeah.
Don't you think that you're going to start saying, well, you can count them here or don't
Wow.
count them there, and there'll be obviously objections to what's going on in Philadelphia or what's going on in Georgia now in Fulton County. I wish I were as optimistic as you, and certainly I don't think the country's going to come apart about it. But
That's what I'm saying.
this is the last. This is the last thing the country needs. I mean, so many people are close to a political nervous breakdown, and it seems to me this is going to put us closer to the edge of that.
It's a 2020 cherry on the top of a really awful Sunday that the country really does not need. And that, I think, is one of the most difficult parts of watching all of this unfold tonight. It's starting to look, we did some history lessons earlier, but it's like 1896. Hayes and Tilden, post-Civil War, during Reconstruction,
If nothing
an
else
election
dropped.
that went on for months
Cool.
with no resolution until it was finally decided. Back then they used to do the inauguration in March, and I believe it dragged on for 3 or 4 months.
4 months counting. But here's a benefit. We are now 13 minutes with Britt still here as we wait for President Trump
Every minute's a bonus,
to
Britt.
speak. Dana, your thoughts as we get ready
There
to
we
hear from
go.
President Trump?
I can hear Biden snoring now.
Just guts and kindness,
Having
bro.
worked in the Bush White House, with that Bush v. Gore decision, I mean, it was deeply scarring for a lot of people, and we all remember it. You were there covering it. I went to bed that night thinking President Bush had won, and woke up in the morning with my husband saying, "I'm so sorry, he didn't win." And you know,
Last one.
it still weighs
Diamond
heavy on
mine.
people's minds. And at the time, there was no incumbent in the White House. The one thing
No
that's really
good.
different about this, look at this setting.
How many do we
where
miss?
President Trump is going to be speaking from
Perhaps
the
he
East
truly
Room
does
of the
have a
White House,
barrier
just
up.
below the residence
What?
that he calls home.
That's not
the
something to
people's
be
house.
excited about.
I think that feels a little bit
You
different.
know all the way up to diet
Well, it also
Golden
felt
too.
different for the Republican National Convention.
So you enter
the final
keywords
speech on
into the
Thursday night
Metaverse
to be on the
Navigator.
South Lawn, and we were there. And,
Boss, can you turn the TV
you know, this
on?
White House,
Cheeto
with
might
this
be on it.
president in an age of
Sure thing.
COVID-19 has been the place where he is
Grow
delivering
a
the big
catchy.
moments. And this is obviously
Him and his
one of the
stupid
biggest as he
composed
tries to
face.
hold on to a re-election.
So, a
Yeah,
catchy song.
he has been forced
Is it true you
to
withdrew
do
yourself
all
from
of
the
these
media as
events
part of your
right
plan
at
to
the White
capture the
House,
Phantom
and
Thieves?
it is his home and
I
his
truly
residence,
apologize
and
for causing
he
such a stir.
does gain
Honestly,
the
it required
advantage
a lot of
of being
courage to
able to
openly
have
oppose
this
them when their
amazing
popularity
backdrop
was at
and
its
very
peak.
presidential
I
environment for
mean,
these big moments.
people often
Can
lashed
I
out
just
at
say
me
something?
online and whatnot.
We need to
Then
make
was
the
it
point,
also your
and
plan when you
obviously
said
there are
they weren't at
concerns,
fault after
but
their
the idea
popularity
that the
declined?
vote isn't over on election
That was
day
to
and
catch
that
them
elections
off guard.
aren't decided.
I could say I
in
applied my
2000, it wasn't
profiling
decided in
knowledge.
2004.
Once
You
they
went to
lost
bed,
public
and
support,
we didn't know whether Bush
someone
or
they
Kerry
thought
was going
was
to win.
their
I
greatest
remember
enemy led to
youngster Jack
That's the
Kennedy
same
and
strategy
Richard
used
Nixon
in
in
romance.
1960. We
Wouldn't you
didn't know
agree?
until the morning that Kennedy had beaten
Why is
Nixon.
he being treated
so,
as an
so
ace
the
detective
idea
of
that,
justice?
that we don't
It's
know
not just on
by
TV
some
or
witching
online.
hour on election
Newspapers,
night or
magazines.
the morning
I
after
see his face
who the president
everywhere.
is not unusual, and
On the other
is
hand,
no sign
no one's
that there's
hoping for our
anything
comeback
funny
on the
going
fan site. Like,
and, you know,
at
perhaps
all.
when the vote is counted in all of these
Phantom
places, there
thieves
are
are evil.
6
Cheeto and
major
Akechi
states
are
that are
just.
still
It
undecided.
should be the other way
They should
around.
be without
They're manipulating information using the
that
media.
was able to win.
Leaving
and we're able
Akechi
to avoid
aside,
this
we'll get
litigation.
back at him
I hope
later.
so, but
Our main
as you
issue
say,
is
Martha,
Cheeto.
it's 2020.
It
Were
took
there any
till
instances
3:30 in the
before when
morning
you
in
didn't know the
2016
palace
for us to
secrets?
make that final call to call
Well,
for the
there was the
45th
time with
president of the United
Futaba.
States.
We didn't know anything
this
about her, so
moment,
all we could do was make
it's
conjectures.
fraught with a lot of things.
Then why don't we
but
just go
really
directly and see
getting
Cheeto?
it done in each
That's
one of these
impossible.
states is the
He's
deal that
surrounded by
these
bodyguards and
state
followers all the
election
time.
offices have to deal with.
There's no way high school students can get an appointment with him either.
And, you know, the lawyers came in and I think
We do have an adult with us.
These decisions about how elections are
No,
conducted
that's
are
still
set by
impossible.
the state legislature.
Besides, that's too
What we're
dangerous a
seeing in
method.
the current atmosphere is state election offices
Well, this is a
make
problem.
provisions to help people to vote
with
in
a
the midst
ruckus
of the
outside.
virus, or possibly because, you know, this is a very difficult time in American life and people are fearful.
Isn't that an election campaign
What we
call?
are seeing now, I think, is setting
Oh,
up
right.
again, and
The
just come back
candidates
to
are
this, I
currently
think, a very
campaigning.
difficult moment in terms of American life. But I just wanted to reiterate what Chris had said. It's not unusual that you have an election for president decided beyond the date of the election.
did he
And
just
it's,
say
again, a
Cheeto?
consequence of the fact that every state,
Yeah, he
you know,
did.
states' rights, 10th Amendment, is able to make their own rules for how the election is conducted within their boundaries. By the way, Martha, I was so impressed that you knew about Rutherford B. Hayes and how that decision was
Man,
decided.
talk about being lucky.
Shoulder shrug.
That's how we got President Hayes.
That's how we got President Hayes.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's it.
Luigi ran off toward the station.
President Hayes.
Hurry.
We plan about 20 minutes of 2-minute warnings for the
I
president.
imagine that he has a way that he wants to say things, and the lawyers have a way that they want him to say things. So that's why you got the teleprompters there, because you don't want him to say something that is going to be used against him in court if this does go to any sort of a court situation.
So
It
you're
has to
saying
have
this is not a
knitted
three-wheel
up.
operation?
This is not a rally. I would say that.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. So Pat Cipollone and others are probably
Pouring
parsing
over every single word, and don't stray off at this word, and don't ramble, and don't go on a tangent, and just stick to this language. And that's not the president doesn't like to do that. He wants to just talk. He wants to tell it like it is. Let Trump be Trump.
And it was put that he would make a statement, not I will speak to the American people or any suggestion that there would be any question and answer, but that he would come out and make a statement, which he tends to do a little bit of ad-libbing around the edges of those statements. When
Yeah, so I don't blame them for taking their time, but it's getting on.
But
This hour, the Republicans are up in the House, not up enough to gain control, but that they've gained seats so far, and a lot more races to be decided and so on. But this was not where we expected to be. be with regard to the House of Representatives.
And a lot of that, I think, is because there's very little ticket splitting, and the president did better in some of these places.
Right.
And in those swing districts, the Republicans were able to get some of them back, including Abigail Spanberger down in Virginia, who was quite a pretty popular member.
I mean, I don't think they thought that Donna Shalala was going to lose down in Florida.
I'm sure you can find people who will say, I knew that she was going to lose, but that wasn't on the radar, no. But Colin Peterson, moderate Democrat of Minnesota, the Republicans have tried to bring him down for years. They were finally able to do that with Michelle Fischbach.
So we sit here and wait for the president at 2:19 in the morning, and what we are left with is what's left to call.
Hey,
let's bounce up to. Let's go out to D.C. Donna Brazil, we haven't heard from you for a while. We're getting ready to hear from the president. Your thoughts on this?
Ain't he supposed to hear a citizen's
Well, first of all, I believe that every vote should be counted. So that's a Democratic talking point, but that's a talking point from somebody who has spent decades out there trying to encourage people to vote. That's number one. Number two, I think Martha made this point, or someone else, that, no, Chris made this point that this is not the first time we've gone in overtime. 2000, 2016, 2004, 1976, 68, and 1960. There are other points that I would like to make, but I'll defer to listening to the president. Election results are rarely certified on election night. And we need to make provisions not just for overseas military ballots and eligible citizens who cast their ballots today, but we should also ensure that all of these absentee ballots are counted as well. I'll let it go to the president.
Donna, thank you. The first family walking in. They've spent a lot of time on the trail, but now let's listen in to the President of the United States in the East Room of the White House.
What are you looking at?
Coming to speak
This
to the
country
American
is
people.
filled with clueless children. I worry for Japan's future. Let them go. My next appointment is coming.
Well, thank you very much.
What a piece of shit. So what do you think of yourself?
Thank you. Thank you very much, please, sir. Thank you.
Wait.
This is without question the latest news conference I've ever had.
For real? Seriously?
You're sure?
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. I want to thank the American people for their tremendous support. Millions and millions of people voted for us tonight. And a very sad group of people is trying to disenfranchise that group of people. And we won't stand for it. We will not stand for it.
What kind of fate brought you two back together?
Talk about a destined connection. Shido was involved in the cognitive research too, right? This can't be dismissed as just a coincidence.
What the hell's going on?
Shido was already a politician then. Yet he sued a student and ruined his future? He must have pulled some strings so that his name wouldn't be mentioned. Furthermore,
Yeah,
he also
definitely
had
gonna
to
end the
force that
episode
woman into
tonight.
making a false statement.
We're never gonna end tonight with this episode. That's what I'm saying. I'm fucking tired.
He can't sit still until he crushes whoever opposes him, no matter how trivial. He's always been that way.
What a piece of shit. Children are the future, my ass. What he's saying and doing are completely different.
But now that we found out who did it, can't something be done about his record?
Once the courts have made a judgment, overturning that decision will be difficult. It'd barely be possible even if proof of innocence is presented and Shido admits to his crimes.
Engineers, we need to trigger a change of heart.
I feel like that's supposed to be like some major accomplishment. It's like you were supposed to win Texas anyway. It's so funny to me. Like Texas and Georgia, which were like the two biggest fucking locks for Republicans, have now become battleground states, and they're like congratulating themselves that they fucking won it. It's like you should have fucking won it to begin with.
That man's full of ambition to rise in the world. He only thinks of the weak as stepping stools for his success.
He treats himself as an elite man while looking down on others. That's the worst.
I assume the keyword for what he believes the diet building is will be despicable too.
It must be something self-centered and completely different from politics.
Someone like him needs to be punished as soon as possible.
a lot of life.
Let's head to the diet building and
Do you
get right
though?
after school tomorrow. Feel we'll get this time.
It was a victory for, and maybe it will be.
Stewing
I mean,
over
that's
it won't
possible.
get anywhere.
But certainly there
We
were
have to do
a lot
this.
of votes out there that we could get because we're now just coming into what they call Trump territory. I don't know what you call it, but these were friendly voters. And that could be overturned. The gentleman that called it, I watched tonight. He said, well, we think it's fairly unlikely.
Let's do it.
Alright, you know what? Let's go ahead and override this save. I mean, it really doesn't matter anymore. I guess we'll do guts. Why not?
But most importantly, we're winning Pennsylvania by a tremendous amount.
Oh shit. Wait, what? Wait, I'm so confused. Wait, what? I'm so confused. How is this supposed to work?
600, think of this, think of this, think of this. We're up 690,000 votes in Pennsylvania. 690,000. These aren't even close. It's not like, oh, it's close.
What?
With
How am I supposed to do that?
64% of the vote in, it's going to be almost impossible to catch. And we're coming into good
There we go.
Pennsylvania areas.
What the fuck was
where they
that?
happen to like your president. So we'll probably expand that. We're winning Michigan, but I'll tell you, I looked at the numbers. I said, whoa. I said, wow, that's a lot. By almost 300,000 votes, and 65% of the vote is in. And we're winning Wisconsin, so we're winning. We don't need all of them. We need.
I mean, you need most of them.
Which wasn't added. I spoke with the really wonderful governor of Texas just a little while ago, and Greg Abbott. He said, "Congratulations." He called me to congratulate me on winning Texas. I mean, we won Texas. I don't think they finished quite the tabulation, but there's no way. And it was almost complete. But he congratulated me. Then he said, by the way, what's going on? I've never seen anything like this. Can I tell you what? Nobody has. So we won by 107,000 votes with 81% of the vote. It's Michigan. So when you take those three states in particular,
I love this Trump explaining fucking math to his fucking followers. Like, this is fucking ridiculous.
just take a look at all of these states that we've won tonight, and then you take a look at the
Actually, this is so dumb. This is so fucking dumb, but whatever.
It's not like we're up 12 votes and we have 60% left. We won states and all of a sudden.
Became suspicious of us last time. So
But yeah, I mean, it's very much, like, I do think Trump definitely has a winning path at this point. If we're looking at Georgia, I think that's going to be very fucking close. Arizona, I think he's lost. I don't think he's winning Arizona. I think he's won Michigan. I think he will win Michigan. I think it's going to be close, obviously, but I think he's going to win it. Nevada probably ends up being Democrat. I think he's won North Carolina. It really comes down to Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. I mean, if he can win Wisconsin, it doesn't really matter that he lost Georgia at that point. And to be honest, based on what I'm seeing right now, like I think he won Wisconsin. So really, at that point, it comes down to Pennsylvania, and that's gonna be a clusterfuck. But I think he could win. Like, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I think he definitely has a winning path here. Again, like, he needs to win through, like, he needs essentially out of the remaining 5 swing states that are still really up for grabs. And, like, North Carolina, I shouldn't even include there because I feel like he's won North Carolina. Really, he needs 3 of the 4. He needs 3 of the 4 of Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. It doesn't really matter which 3 he gets there. He needs 3 of those 4. And I think he can get it. But it's definitely not a guarantee.
Get closer to the wall, just in case. Alright, do it.
So our goal now is to ensure the integrity for the good of the this nation. This is a very big moment. This is a major fraud in our nation.
Nothing changed? We went in, right?
In a proper manner.
Security guards seem to be gone, but it's difficult to tell for certain. This seems to be similar to what happened with Sis's palace.
But this time, the Dyer building remains unchanged.
4 o'clock in the morning.
The gate wasn't open earlier, though.
Okay?
Wait, look! Noah's appearance is different.
It's a very sad
That means
moment.
we're definitely in a palace.
And
Come on, let's go take a look.
And as far as I'm concerned, we already have one. So I just want to thank you.
How's it look over there? See anything?
I want to thank all of our support.
I'll check it out.
I want to thank all of the people that worked with us. And Mr. Vice President.
What's up, Futaba?
Say a few words, please.
Futaba?
I love how he's just talking as if he's one. Like,
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to join you in thanking more than 60 million Americans who have already cast their vote for 4 more years for President Donald Trump in the White House.
Even though this country may
Continue
sink,
to be counted.
he alone
We're going
is
to remain vigilant, as the President
That's
said.
what this cognition is
The
about.
right to vote has been at the center of our democracy since the founding of this nation, and we're going to protect the integrity of the vote. But I really believe with all of my heart, with the extraordinary margins, Mr. President, that you've inspired
Bullshit!
in the states that you just
Country
described,
that children can be proud
and
of
the way
my
that you
ass
launched this
is completely
movement
sunken in his
across the
head.
country to
If a
make
guy like
America
this
great
stands
again.
above everyone,
I
we're
truly do
seriously
believe,
done for.
as you do, that we are on the road
This is
to
beyond
victory,
ridiculous.
and we will make America great again.
The son goes for a catchy. He should have seen this scenery as well. Yet he still aided Cheetah.
What in the world is he thinking? Whether it be for glory or for simply a reward, my father died because of someone like this. We gotta sink Shido instead of this country. The palace is not just the center of the distortion, but the entire country sunken. I can't believe there's someone with this tremendous of a desire. Be careful. This will be completely different from past palaces.
Arizona called
We're
that,
definitely gonna
we
take
have
his
made
treasure.
clear tonight. He said he believed that Arizona had put a lot of life in that.
All right.
There's still a lot of life in that.
We
he
must
said,
put an end to
in
this by
Arizona.
December 17th,
So perhaps,
the day before the
maybe they're
elections.
coming around a little bit on Arizona as those numbers
Let the
continue to
infiltration
come in
begin.
tonight. But then
Time to pay him
he
back for
basically
setting us
clear
up
that
into a
he sees
trap.
this as a fraud on the American people. He said it was a very sad moment tonight.
Wait,
And he said, frankly, we did win this election as far as he is concerned. So
He said he won in North Carolina, he's won in
okay.
just
he is leading. And if you look at Pennsylvania, his numbers are up. He is up 600,000 votes in Pennsylvania. The other numbers that he cited in some states are accurate as well. He is up there as well. In Arizona, he is trailing.
So, this will be it for tonight. Tomorrow morning we'll continue on. It'll be cool if we can finish the palace by the end tomorrow morning. We'll see. Yeah, for now, thank you for watching.